Hello, I'm Robert, and I'm doing this to help those of you who are still scared of this silly, silly, silly story that Freemasons want to kill everyone in the Northern Hemisphere. So first, please try and learn from this. When nothing is happening, nothing is going to happen. Please learn from this. The stories that sound like bullshit really are bullshit. And so back to the story. Then it's this strange idea that Freemasons. So Freemasons are secret, okay? Everybody knows that they're secret, but they're not really. There's 6 million of them in the world, and you can't have a secret among 6 million people. And here's a chap who is a Freemason, and he talks about how he can't show their secret handshake on TV because he promised not to. But he said, just go and look it up in Google and you'll find it. But he can't say it himself because they just, it's like a fraternity club. They just have these secrets as part of rituals, as part of how they do it. It's originated in the Christian cathedral builders. So it's originally Christian, and they believe in a higher power. They don't believe in the world monarch. They don't say if you join Freemasons you've got to follow the advice of a world monarch. It says you've got to believe in some higher power, which can be any kind of higher power. It doesn't need to be Christian God, but some kind of higher power. And they're basically benevolent, as you would expect from a Christian organisation. They give a lot to Christianity, to an originally Christian organisation. They give a lot to charity, and it's very much frowned on. Raised 33 million last year for charity. It's very much frowned on to use it to help yourself. They say it's a complete myth. It's not used for your own personal benefit, and that's something they stress. And it's frowned on. It really is for others. So it's just the people who like secret ceremonies and who basically want to help others, and they also like socializing with other people who share secrets with them. And they like the kind of secrecy of it, even though they know that secrets have all been revealed, but they like that kind of mystique of it. That's basically the Freemasons. And they're just not known for killing people. There are no stories about Freemasons killing even a dozen people. And then this chap goes and says that he seems very sincere, and if you watch that movie, that's an actor who is just acting, being upset. It's not true, even though tears are flowing down his cheeks. So it is possible to act these things. And he has this, let's see if I can find it, he says that the world is controlled by a world monarch, who then controls 13 wealthy families, who in turn, a secret world monarch that nobody knows about, then controls the banks and the corporations and the governments and the religions. All religions are controlled by this world monarch, according to him. The archbishops and the bishops and the pope and the kings and queens and the government, Trump is controlled by him or her, and Assad and Putin. And he says that this world monarch has told them all to kill everyone north of the equator. In other words, he's said to Trump, go and kill all the white people in the United States, but be sure to leave behind all the coloured people and the Latinos and the Muslims, and that unless they're white. And Trump says, "Oh yes, master, I'll do that." And he's saying that he told Putin to do the same, and they're doing this silly thing where to start it all off, he says they've got to first kill everyone, all the white people in Seattle, and pretend it's a nuclear bomb, and then, with us as an excuse, then kill everyone in the entire Northern Hemisphere, claiming it's a nuclear war. But everyone in the Southern Hemisphere, it's a ridiculous story. It wouldn't even work in a comic book, with a comic book villain. You just see through it straight away and say, but how would everyone know what it's all about? Everyone's house in the equator would know that it wasn't a nuclear war because there wouldn't be any radioactivity, and all the northern people have died in this silly story. You wouldn't believe it in a comic book. Even in an alternative world, it's bullshit, it's batshit crazy. And so there's this bit about, I've also got a video here about the Freemasons. This is video taken inside, and these are typical Freemasons. and you could play it and see them. And in this video, that means you see Freemasons for the most part tend to be white and live north of the equator. I mean, that's just because they originated as the cathedral builders, and it sort of spread, and I dare say there are quite a lot of coloured Freemasons now, and there's one of them here. According to the secret plan, all of them would be killed except him, unless they were to manage to fly south of the equator. And have you heard any news stories about millions of people flying south of the equator today? I haven't. So, these Freemasons, these 6 million Freemasons, are just staying at home. And if you know any Freemason friends, I'm sure you won't find that they've decided to travel south of the equator today. I mean, it's such a silly story. And please don't be scared by this. So you might wonder why does anyone get scared by such a thing? And I think it's like the Chicken Little story. This chap, I say he's got a good voice actor. He's probably just bullshitting. He would not believe what I'm very surprised if he actually believes any of this. You'd have to be so crazy to believe this. But he's just people get used to find out things that actually, if you say them and you share a video, then it sort of goes viral, and then you find out what goes most viral, and you try those more, and eventually you learn that this particular kind of craziness, for some reason, gets shared a lot. And amongst all the thousands of people trying to get something viral, then this chap succeeded. And then as soon as it just starts a little bit of motion going, then it's like Chicken Little, which was originally the story that the hare, the sound the hare heard, a Buddhist story originally. And it's about a hare that hears that a nut called a belly nut falls on the ground just next to it, and with that loud thud, and it gets terribly scared. It starts running, and the other hares start running. Then all the animals in the forest start running, and they all ask each other what's happened. And he says, "Oh, the world's is tearing apart," and it was all just it all just goes back to this nut falling, and this is basically what's happening. Just all the equivalent of the hares and the deer and the rhinoceroses and the elephants, and they're all just running, because someone started sharing this story. There's nothing in it. There's nothing behind it. It's just a hare panicking because the seed fell. So please don't get scared by this, and please learn from this, that in the future, when these things happen, it really doesn't mean anything. And his only reason for choosing Seattle, he could have chosen anything that gets blown up in movies. I don't know why didn't he choose like the White House, Big Ben, Statue of Liberty, the Taj Mahal. He could have chosen anything that gets blown up in movies. For some reason he chose the Space Needle, and then he goes through all those movies and looks for occurrences looks for a number that occurs in all of them. And lots and lots of small numbers occur in movies, and he found that numbers 3 and 11 occurred quite a lot. So he says, okay, 3 and he doesn't mind about the order, because you have two ways of doing dates: 3-11 or 11-3, depending on whether in Europe or United States. So he counts them both ways, as well as number 3-11, which would also quite often occur in a movie. And then he says this means that something going to happen in Seattle on the Space Needle is in Seattle on the 3rd of November. And he doesn't, no year, he doesn't bother to have a year in his story. So he could have said this in the year 2000 and done exactly the same movie and say that something going to happen in Seattle on the 3rd of November in the year 2000. He just happened to be doing the movie this year, so he says it's in 2019. And then of course, once you've got this thing going viral, you start having other people like Steve Fletcher, who will just pick up any nutty story around the web, and he says the world's going to end most weeks, and often several times a week. So as soon as someone starts, as it begins to get a little bit viral, you have dozens of YouTube channels that are people who are constantly looking for end of the world stories, and they will just retweet them, or reblog them and write videos around them and add their own take to it. And so you've got a kind of amplifying mechanism on YouTube of lots and lots of channels that will just take up any such story and elaborate it and make it more complicated. And they will go around looking for other numbers in movies and other numbers from their own pet conspiracy theories and their own, maybe search the Bible or whatever, and they will find ways to elaborate all that into whatever's going the rounds. So please just learn from this. There's nothing going to happen. It is just another silly viral thing. And please learn from this for the future, that this is not going to happen in the future either. That we are bound to get one of these every year or two that gets really viral like this. And in this case, it's not the news that have done it. It's just social media and YouTube. I would imagine most of the news sources don't even know about this, and it's so silly. So anyway, hope that helps a bit and helps some of you calm down. I know you're getting very scared today. There's nothing to be afraid of.